Hey everyone, want to make another plug for the Make Them Hear Us part of the ACX campaign. If you are a signatory or you want to sign the open letter, I'm inviting you to, well, first sign the open letter and then make your voice heard to the Christian nationalist politicians and or their enablers in the church. And I thought I'll just go ahead and start. And I want to start with Mr. Representative Dan Crenshaw, Methodist. By the way, Dan Crenshaw, you may have noticed that behind me is a soothing background to rest your eyes, precisely because, like everybody else in our society, I've been brainwashed to believe that the most important thing in life is making powerful people feel comfortable. So consider that my one capitulation to my programming. Dan Crenshaw, you have talked about how God gave you the strength to believe the impossible. Talked about how you survived an admittedly horrible sounding tragedy in which someone was dismembered in front of you, in which you thought you would be blind for the rest of your life. And in your interview with CBN News, you talked about how God gave you personally, the strength to believe the impossible. You personally, the faith to get through your difficult season in life. You personally, the miracle that you wanted and that you prayed for. Well, Dan Crenshaw, however many years it's been since you did this, just 2 years, I think we can all agree, your faith is premised on pure, unmitigated selfishness. Because when you talk about God giving you strength to believe the impossible, you're talking about God giving you strength to live your own best life. Screw everybody else. Freedom of choice for Americans, Neanderthal thinking. Open borders to illegal immigrants with COVID, compassion. This is you, Dan Crenshaw, spreading lies about the mask mandate. Not only spreading lies that endanger Texans, but doing so via further stigmatizing undocumented people. It's a 2-for-1 of selfishness, callousness, and pure hatred. You talk about God giving you strength to believe the impossible. I ask, what is the object of your faith? Because it seems to me the object of your faith is not a faith in a God who loves all of humanity. It's a God who loves Dan Crenshaw. This should have been evident to everybody, by the way, back in March when Dan Crenshaw dismissed concerns about the implicit racism of the phrase Wuhan virus as CCP propaganda. In a week where Stop AAPI Hate reported 650 reported incidents of anti-Asian discrimination. Well, I suppose the footage of 84-year-old Thai grandfathers being murdered in broad daylight is also CCP propaganda, right, Dan Crenshaw? Or what about the 2-year-old who was stabbed in your state? This is what I'm talking about, Dan Crenshaw. 2 children ages 2 and 6. The guy did it because he thought they were Chinese and infecting people with the coronavirus. Is this what you want? Is this the world that you want? Where 2-year-old Asian Americans and undocumented people who fear deportation and lily white grandmothers who would prefer not to spend their dying hours in a COVID ward instead have to live in fear while you get to do whatever you want because God gave you the strength to believe the impossible. And I have something else to say to all his enablers in the church. I don't know what church Dan Crenshaw attends, but enough is enough. Those who go to his church, you need to demand accountability from your leader and ask them to either discipline him or take steps to ensure that he does not represent your church anymore, because he certainly doesn't represent my faith.